views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hi, good day. This is Patty Hunter. This is my show, Patty's Page. Welcome. Today my co-host is Terrence Doran.
Well, thank you, Patty.
Thank
Pleasure to
you.
be here as always.
And my special guest is Senator Dennis Kruse.
Yes, good to be here.
Thank you.
Nice to
Yes.
see you,
Thank you, you
Senator.
So it's great to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Finally, I get to have you on my show.
Yes,
I met you several times before. You're a very nice person.
thank you.
You're very pleasant to talk with and very, very wonderful. Okay, we have questions for you. I hope you don't mind.
Okay. No, go right ahead.
So, you were born here in Fort Wayne area, or?
Fort Wayne area, I'd be north about 20 miles in Auburn, Indiana, at the
Auburn,
Bonnell
yeah.
Souter Hospital, which is now torn down, and we have a new DeKalb Health Hospital. But I was born there in 1946, October the
1946.
7th.
Oh my goodness. You don't look it. You look quite young.
Thank you.
Are you still living there?
I still live in rural Auburn, so my great-great-great-grandfather homesteaded that place in 1851. That's been about 160 some years.
Yeah.
And my son lives in the house, in my great-grandfather's house, and I live a mile from there. And I have another brother who lives a mile from there, and another brother who lived next door to me, and another brother lived next door to him.
How many do you
Oh
have?
my God.
There were 5 boys and 2 girls in
Oh.
my family growing up, so I'm one of 7, and I'm
Oh
the
my
middle
goodness.
of 7 children.
Oh my goodness. And everybody's still around and all that?
Yes.
Are they, what jobs are they doing? What's
Well, auctioneering,
Auctioneering.
and attorneys. So
Ah.
3 brothers were auctioneers, and 2 were attorneys.
Yeah.
And my 2 sisters, one works in the law office for one of my brothers, and the other one is a school teacher, and she now lives in Dallas, Texas.
Oh.
Wow.
Well,
So
they had-
your family's pretty well known in Auburn, isn't it? The
It
Cruise,
is.
the
Cruise
Labor
auctions.
Day, the
Yes.
auction, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Been well known over the years, and interesting. If you go to the south side of Auburn at the cemetery, my 8 great-grandparents, my 4 grandparents are buried in the same cemetery. My wife and I have our plots already purchased there as well.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be a full house.
Yes,
Oh my. So you're married with children.
yes. My wife Kay and I have been married 46 years, and we have 4 sons: Matthew, John, Timothy, and Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 39, 33, 29, and 23.
That's evenly spaced out.
Yes, at my son's, let's see, it'd be my youngest son's 5th birthday, my oldest son said, "You know something, tonight we are 5, 10, 15, and 20 years old."
Oh,
I like
you
that.
spaced it out pretty
Yes.
good.
Yeah. Congratulations on
Thank you.
46 years,
Thank
too,
you.
and 4
That's a long
healthy sons.
That's about
Yes.
twice. Bob and I have been married 23 years. So
Yes, it is twice as long.
Twice as long.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the word? How do you get along so well being married that long?
Well, it helps loving each
Communication.
other and communicating,
Yeah.
and we're willing to talk things out. So
Yeah.
we may have heated discussions, I guess you could say, from time to time on different issues, but that's, I think, is healthy in a lot of ways to
It
get
is.
things talked out and
That's important,
to
rather than
come to
holding
the-
it in
Yeah.
and you have resentment. Yeah, that's great.
And we have 6 grandchildren now. So my oldest son has 3 grandsons who are 13, 12, and 8. And then we have my younger 3 sons, all 3 had first-time babies within 60 days, which
Oh
was
my gosh.
October, November, December.
Oh my goodness.
The third one was born on Christmas morning.
Christmas morning.
So they're
Oh, he's
now-
going to get, he or she,
That's a
he's
he.
going to get double, triple presents.
Yeah.
He won't
Or
know
else
who it is.
cheated, you know. So, well, it's Christmas. Forget
Yeah.
one or the other.
That's right.
Yeah.
What influenced you in becoming involved with politics?
Well, I've been involved in elections when I was in the 4th grade.
Oh my goodness.
Our teacher said we're going to elect class officers next week. So I went home and told my father, and he said, well, Dennis, you run for class president. I said, why should I run for class president? He said, well, somebody has to, and it might as well be you as anybody else. And so I did, and I won. And I won class president in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th,
And the
8th
thrill
grades.
of it.
Really?
And,
Oh, my
ran
goodness.
for student council vice president as a freshman at Leo High School.
Yeah.
Then I transferred because of the new boundary lines. I ended up at Auburn High School and became the president of the student council, student body at Auburn High School. And then I went to college. I was involved in Young Republicans in college, and I ran for precinct committeeman then when I turned 21. And I've been a precinct committeeman for most of the 46 years. And I've been a delegate to the state convention most of the 46 years, and ran for township trustee
Oh,
back
where's
in the
that?
1980s.
Which township?
Jackson Township in DeKalb County, south of Auburn, so it's right,
Not
goes
too
to the
far.
Allen-DeKalb County line.
Ah.
The old County Line cheese factory used to be located right close by there. And then the Deer Track Golf Course is close off
Oh,
of
yeah.
Tonko Road and County Line.
Yeah, I used to live in Garrett, so I'm
Oh,
pretty
yes.
familiar with Auburn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, went there many times. They're sort
Yeah.
of connected.
Yes.
But they both have their own high schools,
They
which
do,
is
still do.
amazing
I
given they're relatively small.
And close.
Yeah, close.
About
yeah.
4.5 miles apart.
So, when you became involved being a senator, what year was that?
That would have been 2004,
That's-
10 years ago.
10 years.
I became state senator.
Was it here in Fort Wayne?
The district that I represent now changed in redistricting. When I first got elected in 04, DeKalb County and half of Steuben County and the eastern part of Allen County, East
Right.
Allen County,
Right.
was part of the district.
Oh.
Then when they redid it in 2011, 3 years ago, they took away Steuben County and gave me the northeast and southeast parts of Fort Wayne. So I have
Oh,
half of
really?
St. Joe Township, and I have all of what is called East Allen School Corporation. That's the new boundary line. So I have south of McKinney Street and east of Anthony Boulevard. So I have that southeast part of Fort Wayne and the northeast part.
So you deal with educators?
I do, yes.
Doing what?
I'm the chairman of the Indiana State Senate Education Committee, and so I deal with educators every day. So I visit schools on a regular basis and have meetings with education officials.
Do you meet up
on
with
a-
the kids?
Say that
Do you
again.
talk with the kids?
I talk with the kids, yes. Yeah, going to the classrooms, which
Cool.
is very good.
How long have you been doing that? A couple of years? 3, 10, 20?
I've been chairman of the Education Committee for 5 years.
5
Next-
years.
Next month will be 5 years.
Oh, mazel tov.
Is that what you find rewarding about your job? I mean, getting to interact with people and kids and hearing their concerns. And
It is, and I was chairman of the Pensions and Labor Committee before I was chairman of the Education Committee, and there were a limited number of people that had real interest in the labor issues and the pension issues. When I became the education chairman, everybody
Yeah,
cares about education, and everybody has opinions on education, so it's almost an unlimited demand on your time and access that people want to talk to you about those education issues.
I mean, I've always thought, state senator, you spend your time in an office and in meetings and so forth, assemblies, but apparently that's not. I mean, sure you spend time there, but I mean not exclusively.
In Indiana, we're a part-time legislature, so we're, like this year, we were at the State House for 10 weeks. So the rest of the year, for 42 weeks, I'm back home and live at home and work in this area and do meetings around here. Then in the other year, in the odd year, we do 4 months. So we do a 2-year budget in Indiana, so we take a little longer to do the budget cycle every other year in Indiana.
So actually, what does a senator, what are the duties, the I never really delve into that type of politics.
Well, one of the primary things is that you vote in the Senate chambers.
Right.
So you have debates, you introduce bills, and you try to get them out of committees. It has to pass through a committee, then it goes to the Senate floor. And then you have pretty rigorous debating on a lot of issues, and you try to get that passed. And if you can get something passed in the Senate, then it has to start over in the House of Representatives. You have to have committee meetings and go to the floor of the House. And then if they change it, if they do amendments, then it has to come back to the Senate. The Senate either agrees or disagrees with that. If they agree, then it is voted on again, that you agree, and then it goes to the governor to sign into law. But if we disagree, then at the end of the sessions, we have what's called conference committee, where you have members of the Senate, members of the House. They meet together, try to iron out the differences. If they do, then it has to go back and be voted on by the full House, the full Senate. If you get that agreement, then it goes to the governor for signature.
Is that all?
Wow, pretty complex process.
Yeah,
frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, and I'll have up to 16 meetings a day at the State House. So I have people just coming into my office almost constantly. So it's pretty demanding on my time schedule when we're in the lawmaking session.
You have people helping you, though.
I have half of a person that we call legislative assistant. So that's a lady, and she serves 2 senators. So I have half of her time. And then there's what they call a press secretary, and I think they serve 8 or 10 senators for 1 press secretary, communications director. And then during session, we have somebody who comes in just for the session. They call them interns. And so we have an intern that shares the 2 senators during session. So we have very limited staff. We have one of the lowest amounts of staff per capita in the United States. In fact, they say that our legislative cost is the lowest of all 50 states in the United States per capita.
Is that good?
I think it's very good as far as not spending taxpayers' money. Yeah.
So where is your office? I mean,
in the state capitol building, we all have offices in Indianapolis, Indiana, right downtown, and there's a circle monument downtown Indianapolis. You go 1 block to the west, and there's the State House, and it's a 4-story building, and my office is in the 4th story on the south end of the building in 401, and my office is -A, 401-A is my office.
So, you have who else do you work with being a senator? Do you work with the mayor? Do you work with the governor?
A limited amount with the mayor. I mostly work with the superintendent of public instruction, who's now Glenda Ritz, and the Department of Education that she's the head of, and then the Board of Education appointed by the governor. They're to set the policy for education for the Department of Education, so I interact with them a lot. And then the Indiana State Teachers Association is our Indiana Teachers Union. I meet with them a lot. And then there's other groups out here for school choice, virtual schools, private schools. They all have associations. And then there's some independent association groups, Stanford Children type of people that also meet with me on a regular basis.
Well, in the time that you spent at the State House, you're very, very busy, it sounds like.
Yes.
I mean, you got meetings, you said sometimes 16 in one day, then you're out talking to people. Now, do you also serve the public when you're not, the time off, you said?
Yes. When I'm back here, I've been an auctioneer for 50 years.
Oh, cool.
And our family had regular estate auctions, farm machinery auctions, and household auctions for 20 years. My dad started in 1952, and then in 1971 we got into collector car auctions. So our family started and pioneered the collector car auction business. So that was our primary focus then after 1971. So family did that, and then about 4 years ago we closed that business down. Actually, a Canadian company out of Chatham, Ontario, Canada. RM Auctions bought the Kruse Auction Park now, and they own and operate it.
The reason why I did that is because I'm Canadian.
Is your family still involved or not?
I have one son. One of my 4 sons has Worldwide Auctioneers, which is a independent auction company, and his partner is from Canada,
Wow.
Calgary, Canada.
Calgary, Alberta.
Yes.
You
so
betcha.
the 2 of them own that.
couple of years.
And they have a couple other partners as well. And so they have an auction on Labor Day weekend, which is a smaller one at the National Automobile and Truck Museum of the United States. They have an auction there on Saturday night.
What's an auctioneer sound like? You're trained as an auctioneer,
Yes.
and can you give us a little sample? I'd love to hear.
Yes, I will. And what am I bid? You want to bid 25? Thank you. And now 50, 50 now, 75, 70. I bid $100. You want to bid 100 now? Quarter one, a quarter now, half and a half now, 70. I bid 175 now, $200. You want to get 200? Sold. Patty got it $175.
Thank you. That's great.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay.
You sponsored Truth in Creation Education Bill. What's that?
That was try to establish that truth was being taught in our public schools, particularly in the area of creation. And so if a teacher was teaching something that a student believed to be false, then the student could challenge that and say, I don't think that is the truth. And they could have a debate on that, and that could be openly discussed in the classroom. So right now, the way the different judges have made decisions, you can't talk about creation. You can only talk about evolution in the public schools.
It's only a theory. It's not real.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, but that's a heated, debated.
It's still being
topic.
debated.
It's being debated. We didn't have a bill this year. I did the previous year. I didn't file one this year. But actually, that bill passed the Senate.
Did it?
And the House killed it. The House didn't advance it, so it died in the House of Representatives 2 years ago.
Writing a bill must be pretty complicated.
It can be.
I read a couple, and they like, wow.
I know they can.
It's like a book.
Yeah, you could take one idea that you could state in a couple sentences. But
Well,
then
that's it. Yeah,
then
one
you put
idea
in
in
a bill
a
could
couple
be
sentences, and
20
it
pages.
goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And wow.
Because it could affect different parts of the
Yeah,
law.
okay, yeah. But do you write those?
We give
Yeah,
the
like-
initial writing. Usually it's more in the concept stage, and then we have 30 lawyers who work for us at the State House called the
Lawyers.
Legislative Services Agency. They actually do the bill drafting.
They do the,
And
okay.
they are in charge of making sure that it's in harmony with the rest of the laws. So sometimes
Okay.
those 20 pages means, well, if this bill becomes law, then this affects this, so I have to change this over here in this other section of the existing law. So you got to make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do to make sure we don't have laws that conflict.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
How long did you go to learn all of what you're talking about today? How many years did it take you?
There's no really learning.
You learn on the job?
Yes, you learn
It's
on the
just-
job. And I was in the House of Representatives for 15 years prior to being in
Yeah.
the Senate, so that was excellent training. And then I was
Right.
the township trustee for 2 terms prior to
They
that.
taught you on the job.
So I'm up to, 25 years in the House and Senate and 7 years as a trustee. So 32 years of public office.
That's good.
you
That
feel
is
like
so
every day you're learning something new still?
yes, that's kind of
after all
exciting
that?
part. That's part of it. And people call you. Get calls, and emails is the most popular method of communication today. So I get dozens of emails every day, and you try to solve people's problems with state government. So they get frustrated. Like one guy's got a past due tax thing that was not his fault. And so he's trying to get it corrected, and the Department of Revenue won't correct it for him. So I will intercede on their behalf and try to get that corrected and say, hold it a minute. You're not giving this guy the attention. It wasn't his fault, and you need to correct this. So those kind of things are what I do a lot.
And they'll listen to you where they don't listen
Yes,
to him
yeah,
because
'cause
of your
we-
standing.
Yes,
yeah.
we're
That's
the one
great,
who
though.
authorize their salaries.
See, I didn't know that you did that sort of
Oh
thing.
yes, that's
as
a big part of
senator.
your job. Actually, going back to Patty's thing on our job description, next to what we do at the State House and the voting and having meetings and being chairman of the Education Committee when I'm back home, what I call constituent services,
Right.
helping people meet their needs with state
Right.
government is a big part of my job back here.
Cool.
Wow.
You've received several honors, awards, recognitions. You have honorary doctorate of public service recipient, Harrison College. How far back was that?
That's a couple, maybe 3 years ago.
And a Distinguished Alumni Award, Anderson University 2011. I can go through the whole thing. You have Certificate of Appreciation, Indiana Speech, Language, and Hearing Association, 2011. Wow, how'd you get that?
Well, I did a couple bills for them, and I carried a bill that became law, 2 of those that helped their profession and helped create better access for them to do their work, and licensure to make sure they have the right licensing, and then to make sure we have the right training in our colleges and universities. And so they honored me as a result of being the author of a couple bills for their association, their profession.
Yeah.
I think it shows appreciation for what you do.
Yes, you.
I mean, also competency, but appreciation. You know, a lot of politicians have a bad reputation of not serving, pretending to serve. You actually are helping people
Well,
all the time.
I tell people oftentimes that I am their servant, not their boss.
Yeah.
You elected
That's
me.
what I mean, servant.
And I'm here to serve you, and it's nice when somebody gives you special recognition.
Yes,
that I'm
it
just
is.
grateful
That you know it's
for that.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Also, a few weeks ago, the Healthy Indiana Plan 2.0 was proposed by Governor Pence. How does that differ from the original
The original one was just the state of Indiana and our tax dollars, which I liked actually. And the new plan, this 2.0 plan, it's Healthy Indiana Plan 2.0, actually does take federal dollars from the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare, and we're going to start using that if it's approved. It's not approved, that's a proposal, so they think it'll be a few months before we potentially would get approval. We may not, maybe they won't approve it because it's a little bit different than Obamacare itself. So this plan still actually it makes people have to pay a little deductible themselves, regardless if you're in poverty income. You still have to pay, a few dollars, not very much, but you have to pay something as opposed to nothing. So some people under Obamacare don't have to pay any deductible; they get 100% coverage. And this plan, me and several others really don't particularly like Indiana getting into Obamacare, so that's what this does. So. But it brings in, I forget how much, but it's hundreds of millions of dollars it brings in to the state for us to distribute to people for health care purposes. But I liked us having our own independent plan and taking care of it and doing what we wanted to do as just the state government. You're not beholden to the federal government and their regulations. So once you buy into the federal plan, then they also have strings attached and laws that go with that you have to abide by.
So you are pro-life?
I am pro-life. I've been pro-life as long as I can remember even being able to think and making decisions. I've been a pro-life person my entire life.
Gotcha. I like doing that. I do. So, are you with any organization that's pro-life or?
Allen County Right to Life.
Allen County Right to Life.
Yes.
Kathy Hamburger.
Yes, I'm involved in that. We do a fundraising auction for them in October. It's their big banquet they have once a year. I've been the fundraising auctioneer to help out on that cause.
And
You must have a lot of work, just research. I mean, if you're going to write a law, you've got to know.
Yes.
I mean, okay, lawyers take the ultimate responsibility, but you've got to know a lot of the law to write it.
Yes, and then you also have to go over it. Once they give us, I give them my proposal, then they give theirs back to me, which we call a bill draft, and then I look it over and say, hold it a minute, I didn't intend this to be this way, change this, do this. So we change that a lot of times until we both agree. The bill writers have a job and responsibility to make it consistent with our laws, and sometimes that goes against what I want. And that's why you have to change other laws then. That's why bills become longer because, hey, there's these 5 laws that if I put this into new law, it conflicts with these 5. So we got to change these other 5 to conform to the new law that you want to propose. So it gets complicated. It makes it hard to read bills. I mean, about 30, 40 years ago, we rewrote all of our laws to be in regular English. They used to have legalese, they called it. So it was extremely hard to understand some of the language. Well, now it's in English, but it's still hard. to follow it, especially when it gets in these complications and you got multiple pages. Like we did a criminal code revision bill that was literally, must have been a couple thousand pages long, because we redid the whole criminal code that weaves all through the laws of Indiana.
Will all of you sit in the assembly and discuss a law?
We do.
Or is it only committees, or
no,
is
it's
there...
required.
Okay.
The committee has a specialization. So say I'm the education committee chairman, any bill in education comes to our committee. We have a courts and criminal code committee that this bill went before. You have economic development committee, the specialty things. So they go through those committees, and you kind of specialize in that topic. So now I'm a specialist in education. And then when it comes to the full Senate, there are 50 senators and 100 House of Representative members in Indiana. Then you debate that bill on second reading, and every one of the 50 senators has an option to offer an amendment to change that bill. And oftentimes, I'd say up to half of the bills get changed on second reading. Then it comes back on third reading.
Oh my
You debate the amendment on second reading, and then vote. And then on third reading, we've seldom do a third reading amendment. So maybe not even once a year do we do a third reading amendment. So that's where you basically take the final bill and you have a healthy debate on the floor, and then you vote.
Well, we have to wind down. It's the last 3 minutes of the show.
Okay.
But it's so great to have you here.
It's good
Yeah.
to be
We
here.
are so
And
thankful
it's
that
been
you have arrived.
very
Yes.
educational to me to learn how our state government works. I mean, you have a vague idea. You know there's bills and committees, but all the complicating factors and all the people involved to get a law passed.
Hausers.
And we only pass about 17% of the bills that are introduced.
Oh,
So we don't pass a high percentage of bills.
And what would say bill that's introduced this year that gets rejected, could it be brought back
Yes.
next year?
Sure can.
So,
Like
yeah.
Senator Tom Weiss worked on getting the blood alcohol content bill from .10 to .08. It took him 10 years to get that passed. So he stayed at it year after year. So, sometimes you got to do it over
you have to
several
be like
years.
a bulldog
Yes.
and shake it
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is going towards the end of the show. State Senator Dennis Kruse, you are one of my favorite politicians,
Thank you.
and I'm glad you came on to me show.
And
I was
now
glad
you're
to
one of
be
my
here.
favorites too.
Thank you.
I've
Thank you.
enjoyed getting to know you. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
I am a senator who is here to actually help meet the needs of people and to serve the people in my district and in the state. And I come from a Christian viewpoint, so I'm a Christian man, and I want to be consistent in my Christian walk and the way I live. And so I also vote the way my district feels, and also from a Christian viewpoint. So I have those two balancing things that determine how I vote on bills.
Cool.
It gives you a very strong, clear focus.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Terry.
Well, thank you, Patty.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, well, listen, this is the end of the show. Patty's Page, my wonderful co-host, and my special guest, Senator Kruse. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and watching my show, and I hope to see you next week.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love.